All right, well, now's as good a time as any to talk about the books that I'm into right now, everything that I'm reading. First thing is Rat Queens, which I'm actually rereading little by little. I really do love that comic. I love the world building, I love the art. I think they changed the artist somewhere down the line, but I still love the way it looks. It's just a very fun and interesting adventure, and I'm really happy to be rereading that now that I have. I think I have like the first 4 or 5 volumes, and now I can read it all together and sort of get a better idea of the story as opposed to just volume by volume every few months that I've been doing. Next is Rosario Vampire, which I'm borrowing from a friend who had all the volumes. Uh, I'm usually not really into harem anime and manga, but this is one of the first that I ever heard of that I ever got into. And I did sort of like the story. It was very interesting. Just a guy accidentally enrolling himself into a school of monsters. The only part that was, off putting was the harem part. And I have watched the first season of the anime. I did back in like middle school. I tried watching the second season. It was a little too much for me at that point. Um, but I did always kind of want to finish the story, see where it went. And so when I knew that my friend had all the volumes, I was like, oh, let me borrow them. And yeah, now it's very easy for me to get through because I'm able to like skim through all those parts. And I don't have to cringe the entire time. Next up is Percy Jackson. I am currently reading The Battle of the Labyrinth. Basically, I got into it because somebody that I follow on Tumblr is very into it. And I was thinking, well, I was a Harry Potter kid, and that was what I was into when I was like 12 years old. I had heard of Percy Jackson, I had heard of the movies, I had never seen any of them though, because at first, like, I didn't really know much about the story, it didn't really interest me when it came out. But, years pass, and I'm thinking about this series for children, thinking, maybe I should go ahead and give it a try, because now that I think about it, it does seem sort of like an interesting story. And now that I have read it, I could tell that like my 12-year-old self would have been all over that and just loved this series to death. And I like it now, but I could tell that I would have loved it more as a child. Um, so I'm very interested to see how things go down and to even read more of this story, all the spin offs and everything. So I'm going to get to that soon. Um, Next is childhood childhood's end, which is it's kind of weird how I got into it. I guess. Well, not that weird. Basically, I watched Evangelion, and when looking at more about the story, um, I saw some references to childhood's end, and I was like, well, let me go ahead and read that sci-fi story. I think I started reading it back, I guess, in like maybe 2013, 2014, because that was when I watched Evangelion. Um, and like, it's just a very difficult book to get through at that time it was. And I, I don't even think I got past the first 5 pages. Um, then years passed, and it's collecting dust in my closet, and I'm running out of books to read. So I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and give it another try. And since that time, I have seen 2001: A Space Odyssey, which the book is written by the same guy who did Childhood's End. So um, I'm hoping that that'll help me get through it a little more, and I can already read it better because education, comprehension increases, and so it is a very interesting beginning. And so I think I'm only like 15 pages in, and it's already very interesting. So I can't wait to read more about it. Next is this A Woman of Strength and Dignity, Esther. This is a book I got from my grandmother a long time ago, and I didn't really understand, why she was giving me this book, besides the fact that, she's my grandmother, and Esther is a biblical woman, and so, it just seems like, your grandma would want you to emulate a biblical woman, Um, and just like Childhood's End, I got that I think around the same time, and it just kind of collected dust in my closet for a while. Like I read the first few pages, and I was like, I don't really know what I'm supposed to get from this, but after a while, I'm thinking, you know what? She did give me this book. She was thinking about me when she got it. So let me go ahead and actually get through it and sort of see, you know, what exactly she wanted me to learn from it. And I am about, how far am I? 37 pages in. You're just now getting to the part about Esther, and I guess we'll see how that goes. Um, the other things that I'm reading, I'm also reading Land of the Lustrous. Um, I started the anime, which is very good. It is very well animated. It's very interesting. The story is, and you know, with that, it just goes hand in hand that you would continue with the manga when the anime is only like 12 episodes. So I started reading that, and I just caught up to the part where the anime ends. So I'm gonna start seeing all bunch of crazy revelations. Hopefully. Next is this Japanese stories for language learners. Um, Basically, I'm trying to improve my Japanese, at least my reading comprehension, because my speaking is okay ish. Um, just because I know it's okay because like I have had some little minimal conversations with native Japanese speakers, and the conversation flowed pretty okay, I think. But and That sort of has been the same. I'm gonna sound totally like a nerd, even more like a nerd after seeing everything. But that my speaking has been pretty much the same, I think, because I have been watching anime and I have been doing Duolingo, and but my reading comprehension has just like plummeted because I haven't been reading in Japanese. There's not really much out there for me to be reading because like my comprehension has been so low. I've only taken one formal Japanese class. Everything else I've been doing through that language learning app, which I've been just doing sporadically. And so once I found this is exactly what I've been looking for in order to help me with my comprehension because it has the Japanese writing on one page and the English writing on the other. So you're getting a translation side by side, and it's very helpful. And hopefully, I will get better at reading Japanese. And last but not least, I am rereading Kitchen Princess. I love it just as much as I did back in the day, and I really, really want to do all the recipes that come in it because they all look so, so delicious. And I've been really into cooking, and it's crazy to me the plot points that happen throughout the story. It's pretty much like your typical shojo, except for the way they deal with that love triangle. Anyone who's ever read Kitchen Princess knows exactly what I'm talking about. And if you haven't, I would say give it a try because, I mean, if you're not into shojo romance, then you'll be into all the delicious food that you see on every page. And that is all the stuff that I am reading, all the literature that I am into right now. I'll give an update as the weeks go by, and hopefully, I get through each of these little by little. And I'll see you all next time.